Well, Gen Con is over, and that means it's time to start planning for Spiel. Okay, that's a lie. I started planning for Spiel last year. And so if you don't already have your hotel, you're probably SOL. You're going to need to stay outside of town, although that is perfectly okay. And I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes. So first off, Spiel Essen is the largest board gaming convention in the world. It is huge. It is packed. You need to be prepared. Those who go in unprepared are still going to have a great time, but you might not get in as much as you probably wanted to. So first and foremost, it's on the 23rd to the 26th of October. This is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. New this year, tickets are being sold for each individual day. So when you head over to the ticket spot and you go to buy your ticket, you will have to select a ticket for each day. The ticket types, you've got your adult ticket, your child ticket, and then you have a reduced ticket. These are for people who have very specific German IDs. If you are trying to get in as a student or with the disability card that you are not German, you're largely only going to take this if you're coming in on cosplay, and you do need to know that they will check your ticket at the door. If you're not in cosplay, you might get an upcharge. Then, after you've got your ticket, we can head on over to the Board Game Geek preview. To get to the previews, you hit browse, you hit previews, you're going to select the Spiel Essen preview, and this is going to show you all of the different games that are coming out so far. There are 647 titles on here so far. Not every single one of them is new, but things that you're going to want to know about here are the filters. So pop open the filters. Pop open the filters. There we go. And you can select down here to see only things that are going to be for sale, if that's what you're looking for. And if you're like a two-player only player, you can go ahead and go two-player. Now, the only thing here is that everything that is not the demo availability and the priority that you have selected is totally up in the air. So some of these games might not have the complete information yet. They might not be listed as two players. So just be careful with that. And so I can select just what is going to be available there for purchase. And then you can go through here and you can mark every one of these for what it's that you'd like. And you can hit this view my titles section. However, I don't find it as useful as just popping into the filters section here again and clicking on what you have decided that you want to look at. And I'm also going to throw in what I've not prioritized as well. And then you're going to be able to see what you're going after. I will release throughout October a list every week. I will have a cozy list, a top 10 list of my own, the popular top 10 tracker, as well as possibly some Asian games that you want to go for, as well as my games that I think you should just go and at least see because they look or sound amazing. Okay, you've got your tickets. You know what you want to go and buy. Let's take a look at everything else, day of, and all of that. So I like to use Wanderlog. So you can see here, I already have my Spiel trip set up, and I have invited my boyfriend and my friend Maxwell that are coming along with me. But you're going to go in here, you're going to hit plan a new trip, and you can say that you're heading to Essen. Now, for me, I'm actually staying in Dusseldorf. And so that's something that I wanted to point out to you, is that you do not need to stay in Essen proper. The transportation in Germany is quite amazing. I'm not sure I grabbed the right dates there. You do not need to pay for this. You're just going to pay while you allot. Just hit maybe later. And now we can just pop in here. And we can look at the city of Essen. And we can head down south here to the park. And we have the Messe. So we can go here and we can add this to our trip. So we're going to need this on each of the days. Which days was it again? 23rd to 26th. So it's going to be there on the 23rd, to 24th, 25th, the 26th. And when you go through in here, you can go and add things that you want to do. So something that's very popular is the Fitzpatrick's Pub over here across the bridge. You actually need the satellite view. I'm going to hit the layers. Oh, I can't switch to satellite view on this one. This is where we'll pop over to Google Maps. Thank you, here. Fitzpatrick's Pub. This is a very popular spot to go and get some food after the show. But here is the Messe. It takes up this entire thing. So let's work our way kind of backwards. When you come to the Mesa by car, you are not going to end up likely parking in this lot here. You're very unlikely, unless you're very early, to get parked in this lot here. Otherwise, you're going to be parking in the lots that I don't even know where they are, and you have to take a bus in. So I recommend you get somewhere where you can take the subway. Now, there is a trick to the subway here. So there are two exits to the subway. One of them is down here. This is a very large ramp up that you see here. And there will be a line that goes from this door all the way down the stairs. This is a set of stairs down here and around and under here. It's a very, very long line. They will split that line again up into here across the bridge. They'll split the line again along the bridge here, and they'll split the line again along the bridge here. There will be several people in yellow vests, and they will yell at you if you go the wrong way. If you come down to this entrance here, I find this entrance to be the least crowded. And I'm telling you that because I know not all of you watch my videos. There's about 1,000 people of you that watch my videos. So if all 1,000 of us go this way, everyone else goes the other way, we're probably still going to be okay. But this entrance I found to be a lot less crowded over the days. Once again, though, if you get there near the doors opening, it's going to be very full. And this one is a little bit more German style queue, where you're kind of just all congregated there. And over here at the big door that's closest to the subway exit, you're going to see the British style of queue of everyone lined up in order. Then further up, there is also another subway stop up here under the parking lot. In here, what you'll actually see is the lineup inside of Hall 8. Now, Hall 7 this year is actually being used for exhibitors, and that's where they housed a lot of the queue. Once again, this was a British style queue inside, and then outside was more of a German style kind of mob queue. So be wary of that. Honestly, there is not a lot of things there that you need to get right off the bat, that you need to be there first thing in the morning. If there is a demo that you really, really want to try and stuff like that, then go ahead, be there first thing in the morning. Otherwise, take your time. You have 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days to check out the entire Spiel. You're not going to be able to see all of it, although I dare you to try, because I mean, I kind of zip through around because I plan in order to go and make sure that I get to all of the booths that I want to get to. Anyways, I mentioned a secret. This subway line, first thing in the morning until about 10 a.m., an hour after the doors have opened, is packed because everyone is coming down here from the Hauptbahnhof, which is the central station up here. Now, you'll notice on Google Maps, we've got 2 lines here. I'm going to switch back to the plain map so you can see them. There are 2 lines here. At the Hauptbahnhof, still first thing in the morning, they're going to hold you upstairs before you're allowed to go downstairs to either of these 2 lines. If you try and circumvent this by going to the elevator to go down, they will stop you. They do have someone positioned there that the elevator is only for those who need it. So don't even try. Once you're down there, though, everyone is going to be trying to take the U-Bahn, which is I think that was the light blue one, the darker blue one. Everyone's going to try and take the U-Bahn because it can drop you off right out in front of the Mesa. However, if you instead take the underground streetcar that eventually becomes an above ground streetcar, which I think is the 11 instead, which is directly across it on the lower platform, you can ride it all the way to Floriststrasse. Down here, you see your Floriststrasse Street, and it'll drop you off right here. And this is only about a 5 to 10 minute walk back to the Mesa. And then you're going to want to use the south entrance here. That's going to be the closest entrance. Now, at the end of the day, when you are leaving, same thing, mass exodus. Everyone's going to be trying to go here. You'll see a ton of people walking across over here and all the way up these streets. There's a lot of the hotels that they're staying at are in this area. This is where a lot of the food is along this main area. However, once again, you can still use this as a quick way to get to Floriststrasse, and you can use that to get back up to the Hauptbahnhof. Of note that I learned last year, Even though you can go outside to these areas here, this is where the food trucks are positioned. These gates here that are entrances that you can see off of the main road, these are all cordoned off. You cannot get from outside to the parking lot or to the street from here. You have to go inside again and come back out the doors. And that's the same thing here. There's a door here. And this is also the food court line here. You'll have to go through here and exit the doors here in order to get back outside. This is all cordoned off. You cannot exit to the road from here. Okay, now, up Bahnhof, up in here. I am actually going to be staying over in Dusseldorf. So we'll switch back to here. You can see the green line is the S-Bahn. The S-Bahn is the slow one. You don't really want to take those. You want to take the REs. The REs are faster, and there are several spots that you can stay near the Dusseldorf airport or over in Duisburg or down here in Dusseldorf, which is where I'll be staying. And this is a very beautiful town. This is a very industrial town. And it's about a 20-minute train ride. And once again, if you're not in a hurry, you can get on the later train and you can relax. And by the time you get to the Bahnhof, you will have not as much of a huge crowd, and you can grab something at the little bodegas that are there. Not a bodega, you don't call them bodegas there. But of note, both the train stations don't expect much to be open on Sunday. And there's also just not a lot open after about 5 o'clock because these are still business towns. While you're here, I highly recommend that you get the Deutschbahn card or the Deutsch card, or you can get the Dusseldorf card as well if you're going to be staying in Dusseldorf. It gives you access to the local transit system for the REs and the S-Bahn, as well as the U-Bahn over here in Essen. And that's a good way for you to save some money because the trip back and forth every day is about 20 euros, or between like 5 to 20 euros, depending on which train you get. The Deutschbahn card, though, does not work on the ICE trains, so be careful of that. And it's also a subscription service, so set a reminder in your phone after Essen, cancel it. 1st of October, go ahead and buy it, or somewhere before your trip, go ahead and buy it, and then cancel it at the end of the month before you get charged the next month. Otherwise, it's not worth it. However, it was very much worth it last year. Essen also has their own official app, hopefully again this year. It will have all the booth numbers in there. However, the data that is on the Essen app and the data that is on the Geek preview do not always line up, except for the booth numbers, because the booth numbers that the publishers are going to submit to BGG is coming from the Essen app. However, all of the hot new games and stuff that are going to be inside of the Essen app are out of date. That information was submitted all the way back in like January, February, March of this year, of what they had planned on bringing. And it's a little slow to get updated. So this is where you're going to find the most up-to-date information on the games, but this is where you're going to find the most updated information on where those are. And you can plan out your map, and it can even draw you a route, which is super, super cool. All right, that's all I have for you today. I'm really excited to see you. If you are going there, hit me up on the Saturday. I will be at the Meet and Play, which you can get to from, I believe it's the Visit program, Meet and Play. Program, Meet and Play. This happens upstairs. It's a nice little quieter area. You can see a couple of us that'll be there. I'll be there with Gaming Rules, Paul Grogan, Ninja Geek Games, Mark Monk, myself as well. And I think Stella from Meeple University is on here as well somewhere. Yep, there we go. Stella will also be there from Meeple University, as well as a bunch of other creators and people that are still signing up. So let me know in the comments down below if you are heading to Spiel. I am excited to see you, and we will see you next time. Bye.